Hi everyone, it's me. From haunted voodoo dolls to creepy mummies, here are 7 relics that we should probably forget about. Number 7. The Drowned Giant. Deep in the heart of Ireland's County Clare, there is an ancient burial site known as the Drombeg Stone Circle. This site consists of almost 200 wedge-shaped stones arranged in a circle with 2 large entrance stones. It dates back approximately 4,000 years to around 2000 BC. It was used for centuries as a burial ground. Archaeologists believe it may also have been used for ceremonies and festivals. The most famous piece of history that came out of this site is not a relic, but rather a skeleton. In 1836, workers were excavating a new road when they came across a large stone slab that had slipped down into a hole. Thinking it was just a boring old stone, they tried to move it out of the way. To their surprise, this particular rock monolith had a skeleton laying on top of it. The skeleton belonged to a male who stood over 6 feet tall, about the same height as today's NBA star Giannis Antetokounmpo. He would have been a giant back then. His body had been folded up in half and placed inside a small chamber between 2 large upright slabs of stone. Researchers believe he was deliberately put into this position. But why? No one really knows. They don't even know how he died. He was thought to be about 25 years old when he passed away. That would have been around the time of the Newgrange Stone Circle Festival. Maybe he suffered an accident during the festival. Or maybe his death was caused by something more sinister, such as human sacrifice. Number 6. The Voynich Manuscript. If you want to see a real creepy relic, take a look at the Voynich Manuscript. It's a mysterious medieval book that has left experts baffled for centuries. No one knows what language it's written in or what it's about. The book was named after the bookseller Wilfrid Voynich, who purchased it in Italy in 1912. He found it in an old Jesuit college that had been abandoned after being struck by lightning. No one really knows where the book came from. It was likely written sometime before 1404 AD, as that's when it was drawn. Whoever wrote it used a strange alphabet and diagrams of plants, astrological signs, and nude women. It may be an early form of herbal medicine, or maybe a kind of encyclopedia. There are many theories surrounding its origins, but nothing has been confirmed. One theory claims it was written by Roger Bacon, an English philosopher and scientist. However, this is very unlikely because he passed away in 1294, and the book was drawn 100 years later. Some people say the book is a hoax, but others claim it could be the lost writings of Hermes Trismegistus, an extremely influential figure in history who supposedly lived 300 years before Christ. He's believed to be the author of the Emerald Tablet, which contains the legendary Hermetic teachings of alchemy and astrology. Number 5. The Baghdad Battery. In 1936, some farmers were digging in the dirt near the ancient city of Baghdad when they uncovered a collection of clay jars buried underground. These jars dated back about 500 years, and each one contained a copper cylinder and a long piece of iron. When researchers looked closer, they realized the jars were actually ancient batteries. Each battery consisted of a clay vessel filled with a corrosive liquid and 2 metal electrodes. As you may already know, electricity is created by the flow of electrons through a conductor, like a wire. A battery provides the power that makes this possible by creating a difference in electrical charge between 2 terminals, a positive and a negative. By placing a conductor between the 2 terminals, a circuit is completed and electricity flows. This is exactly what these ancient jars were doing. Researchers can't agree on how the ancient Mesopotamians made them work. Maybe they used organic acids like lemon juice, grapefruit juice, or vinegar. Whatever the case, they figured out how to create an electrochemical reaction that generated a current. The Baghdad batteries could have been used for electroplating, making decorative metal objects, or even electrotherapy, but no one is 100% sure. Number 4. The Shroud of Turin. You might have heard about the Shroud of Turin. It's one of the most infamous relics in the world, and possibly the most controversial. It's a length of linen cloth that allegedly wrapped the body of Jesus Christ after his crucifixion. According to the Gospels of Mark and John, he was wrapped in a special burial cloth called a shroud. The shroud itself is very plain, but it has become a big deal because of the image imprinted on it. This image seems to show the face of a man who has wounds consistent with crucifixion. Over the years, scientists have tested the cloth and come up with different results. In 1988, carbon dating showed that the shroud was probably made sometime between 1260 and 1390 AD, meaning it couldn't have been at the crucifixion of Christ. However, other tests have shown that it's possible the shroud was created in the 1st century. It might have been created after Jesus' death, but not necessarily by someone who witnessed his crucifixion. As for the image, we still don't know how it got there. The weirdest part is that the shroud wasn't famous until the 14th century, despite having been in existence since the time of Christ. Maybe it remained unknown, until someone discovered it in the dusty archives of a church. From 3. The Kabul Golden Idol. Back in 1978, archaeologists unearthed a golden statue in Afghanistan. It weighed over 11 pounds and was crafted in the shape of a Buddhist monk. At first glance, it looks like a typical religious artifact, but researchers soon realized that it was much more than that. It may have been a relic of immeasurable value. The statue appears to have been made in the 5th century, just before the Muslim conquest of Afghanistan. It shows a monk in the traditional meditative pose with his hands resting on his knees. The Buddha behind him seems to be made up of flames, suggesting enlightenment. Maybe the statue was created to represent the spread of Buddhism in the region. But researchers think there was another reason. They believe the statue was an actual vessel containing the spirit of a holy person. According to legend, this holy person was Guru Rinpoche, a powerful tantric master who brought Buddhism to the mountainous regions of Bhutan and Tibet. The statue itself may have been a physical link to the guru. Those who saw it believed they were seeing the guru's physical form right before their eyes. The CIA took an interest in the strange hum and sent a team to investigate. They recorded the noises and analyzed them in great detail, but they couldn't figure out what was causing it. Eventually, they concluded that it was a mystery that they couldn't solve. Even now, no one really knows what it is. Many blame nearby wind turbines. However, researchers have shown that these don't produce the Tao's hum. It's been blamed on everything from electromagnetic waves to secret military weapons. Number 1, the haunted voodoo doll. Let's finish off this list with a scary story. Back in 1846, a woman was accused of casting a voodoo curse on her lover. Her name was Marie Delphine McCarthy, but she was better known as Madame Delphine Lalaurie. She was a famous voodoo priestess who practiced dark magic in the swamps of Louisiana. It was said that she would torture and kill people, then use their body parts in her spells. Her victims were usually African-American men who she lured into her house with promises of alcohol and sex. She was finally caught after a local butcher walked into the police station and told them about a severed human finger he found in a package. He claimed it was delivered to him by a mysterious woman who wanted him to throw it in the river. Police immediately suspected Delphine, searched her house and found the remains of several people. She confessed to killing these men and was arrested. People were horrified and demanded that she be punished. However, she was let go due to a technicality. Just a few months later, she was arrested again for killing a man named Louis Bartholomew. This time she didn't get off so easily. She was convicted of manslaughter and sentenced to spend the rest of her life in prison. After she was locked up, strange things started happening. Guards and inmates began getting sick and even dying under mysterious circumstances. People started whispering that Madame Delphine had placed a curse on them all. But there was a twist to this tale. Research later revealed that she didn't kill anyone while in prison. It was actually her nurse who was poisoning prisoners for fun. Even though Madame Delphine had nothing to do with the poisonings, she still became known as the most haunted prisoner in history. Thanks for watching. Which of these relics would you love to get your hands on? Let me know in the comments below and remember to subscribe if you haven't already. See you next time. Bye.